I'm not that sweet. I wanted to do a little FAQ video because typically when I follow people on the Pacific Crest Trail, I kind of like to know a little bit about them, even though this feels really narcissistic. Here we go. I asked on my Instagram if people had questions for me or about the PCT, and if you're not following me on Instagram, I realized in all of my older videos, I put the wrong Instagram name. So it's Beth with 3 H's, not 4, Rachel. And I'll put that on the screen. But oddly enough, I got quite a few answers or questions to my question. So I will answer some of those, and then I will do just some general questions that people usually post in like a back video, and also some questions that I get a lot from my non-thru hiker friends and family. So the first question, how long does the average hiker take on the PCT, and do you have a time goal? So the PCTA website says that the average person takes around 5 months. Personally, I would really love to do it in 100 days, but that is kind of dependent on how well I do by myself, because I don't think very many people have that goal. So if I'm okay being alone, I will try to do it in 100 days. If not, I'll just stick with my trail family, and whatever happens, happen. Because if I were to do it in 100 days, that would require me to hike over 30 miles a day on average, which I'm training to be able to do, but just a lot of people don't have that kind of goal. Second question, what is your start date and what direction are you going? I'm going to be vague about my start date just because I don't want anyone creeping on me, but I will say it's late May, and my direction is northbound, so towards Canada. I do hope to have my first trail video out around June 4th. Third question, how are you going to charge your electronics? But I do have a 26,800, I think it's milliamp battery charger, which can charge a phone up to 5 times. I will be using my GoPro 11, which I'm using right now, to film. I have 3 extra batteries and multiple memory cards. And I also have an Anchor quick charger for when I'm in town. So I'll just have to be smart about my usage and charge my stuff whenever possible. When did you first fall in love with hiking? Well, I've always been an outdoor kind of person, especially when I was younger and we had horses. I was kind of feral in a way. I homeschooled, and I basically just rode horses and fished all day. My family did go car camping quite a bit when I was really young, but we never went backpacking. We didn't hike very much. I would say when I was 18, we moved from Stockton, California to the Bay Area, and our city has a pretty large miles of trails state park about 5 minutes from my house. I'm able to walk there. So I really started by mountain biking there, and then I just wanted to spend all my time there. So I would hike there, and I think that's kind of when I started falling in love with just being outside hiking in nature. I went on my first backpacking trip to Tahoe. I can't remember when it was, maybe 2016. And while that was a tough experience, I really enjoyed it. Next question, what's a luxury piece of gear that you're not willing to leave behind? I mean, I guess I have a few. Like in my Big 3 video, I talked about how I'm going to have 2 sleeping pads because I don't want to be without the cell phone pad, but I can't sleep on it. I don't know if the GoPro is considered a luxury, but it is something that a lot of people don't take, and it is part of the experience for me, and it's important. So yeah, I guess it is luxury. I'm also going to be bringing separate sleeping clothes, which people don't always do. I personally can't imagine sleeping in my sweaty, stinky clothes, but who knows? I might be a changed person while on trail. Lots of questions about how I'm feeling about the record-breaking snowfall this year, which I posted a video about already. Another question says, what is your favorite animal? Well, if anyone knows me, they know that I absolutely love animals. I have several animal tattoos. I've been crazy obsessed with animals since I was a kid. But if I had to choose one, I would say throughout my life, I have always gravitated towards wolves, which is why I have this tattoo. I do have an exciting side quest that I am going to be doing on the PCT that involves animals. I will do a video on that as well, but it is something I'm very, very excited about. Someone asked what I will do when I have my period. Personally, I do not have a period. I went to my doctor and asked specifically for birth control that made me not have a period just for the trail. I've actually never been on birth control before. My body took some time to adjust, but after a few months, I really have not noticed any bad side effects, and it's pretty awesome not having a period. But I know a lot of women still have their period on trail, and they kind of just deal with it, packing in and packing out tampons. I typically have very painful periods, so beyond just the uncomfortable of a period, I was not wanting to deal with being moody or in pain on the trail. So that's why I opted for the birth control. Someone else asked, what do I think will challenge me the most? And that is definitely being away from my family. I'm very, very close to my family, and not being able to talk to them will be extremely difficult for me. Not being able to see my dog and my boyfriend every single day, I am actually kind of scared that it might break me. If I even think about my boyfriend dropping me off at the trailhead, I want to cry. Also missing a big wedding on his side of the family in Mexico, which I'm sad about. My brother and I are very close, and he's going to Japan, and we usually travel together, and so it's really sad that he's going to experience that without me, and also I'm going to experience the trail without him. It just doesn't work out because he's in nursing school right now, so he can't take the time off. My sister and I have a 600+ day Snapchat streak. Yes, we still use Snapchat. So we talk every day, and it's going to be really hard for me to not see her and talk to her and see my beautiful little niece, Rosalie. I also see my mom almost every single day. So it's going to be hard not seeing her. Since I was 15 years old, my cousin and I have texted every single day. So that's like 15 years of having some sort of diary in my cousin. So it's going to be really hard not to be able to just pick up my phone and tell her my every fleeting thought like we do every day. And second, I think just being lonely, which is kind of related to what I just talked about. But yeah, those are going to be my biggest challenges. Someone said, why are you such a badass? I really don't know. I've just kind of always have been. And it's only getting worse or better with age. Someone asked how old I am. I am going to be 32 in April, 4/20. A lot of people have asked if I'm bringing my dog. No. I will miss him so much, but he is, first of all, he's a tripod. If we even go on a 2-mile walk, he's very out of breath. So he would not last through the trail. Also, he's extremely annoying, and he is not always the friendliest with strangers. So no, on every level. Plus, I think my boyfriend would miss him more than he's going to miss me. Someone asked, what's a must-have for you on trail? I want to look at this a few ways. As far as something I would probably die without, that would be electrolytes and coffee. Electrolytes because I actually get physically ill if I don't have them. And coffee because I have no will to live without it. I would literally quit day one. I wouldn't even start the trail. Something I must have because I want it is my Garmin inReach. Like I just talked about, communication with my family is very important. And I want to be able to talk to them when I don't have cell service, at least let them know that I'm okay. And I'm going to throw in a food item because what's life without food? And that would be cheese. I will be packing out cheese probably every single time. A lot more questions about what I'm nervous for or worried about. River crossings and missing my family. Someone asked, where have you traveled? I would say my first love with adventure was when I was 15. I had the opportunity to go to Israel. And it was the first time I have ever been out of the country. It was really the first time I ever traveled. But I really enjoyed the experience, and I think it kind of changed the trajectory of my life in a way. It made me understand that travel and adventure is extremely important to me, and that's where I wanted to put my money. So for my 20s, I traveled quite a bit. I went to Europe a couple of times. I went to Thailand, spent one night in China, which was very scary. I recently went to Mexico for the first time, the Bahamas, many US states. Hawaii is one of my favorite places in the world. But yeah, I definitely have a lot of plans to travel, and it is integral to my life, and I have no plans on stopping. Someone asked, how many tattoos do I have? I don't actually know. I have quite a few now, but I will say I think I'm done for a while at least. Somebody asked, what is your why for hiking the PCT? Because I want to. Just like my tattoos, everything in life does not have to have this deep meaning. I wanted it, and so I got it. And that is kind of the type of person that I am. Once I get an idea in my head, it's really hard for me to get out of it. And I will do literally almost anything to make it happen. And nobody can tell me no. My mom and my dad can probably attest to that. So I don't know if it's necessarily a good thing, but it's definitely something that makes me a very determined person, and I've made a lot of things happen because of that. And I can't really explain it. It's just, I really want to hike the Pacific Crest Trail. I feel like it's something that I have to do. It would have to be really extremely difficult for me to give up on this dream. Somebody asked, did the movie Wild inspire you to do this? No, because I've actually never seen it. I tried reading the book, but I couldn't really get into it. I'm more of a fantasy novel person myself. Definitely YouTube is the culprit for putting this idea in my head. Not a through hike movie or book, but Into the Wild definitely inspired me in a lot of ways in life. It inspired me to live boldly and exactly true to who I am, even with its tragic ending. Another person asked, are you going to do one episode a week while on trail? This is kind of undecided still. I really like the idea of doing one video per day, just because really for my own selfish reasons. I want to document each day and how I'm feeling and my mileage. I think that would be the funnest way to look back at it for myself. And also, I find it kind of confusing when people combine days. And I think they themselves get confused because they'll be like, oh, it's day 11, but really it's like day 15. And they don't even know that themselves, which is totally fair because when you're doing something like traveling or hiking, it gets confusing. Of course, the problem with this is that it is a lot of work to film every day and keep it all separate and uploaded. So I'm thinking while I might not upload every single day, I will go in spurts, uploading a few episodes, day 1, 2, or 3, all at once. But I do think that I want to keep it separate by day. A lot of people also are concerned that it will take me out of the moment and that it will take away from my experience hiking the Pacific Crest Trail. And to that, I say, hike your own hike. I don't plan on involving other people without their permission. I'm not going to film other people without their permission. And I totally understand the desire to not want to be around someone who's vlogging their experience. I don't like that word. Anyone I hike with, I will ask them what they're comfortable with and what they're not. I was also listening to a podcast talking about happiness and how social media has kind of changed how we feel about ourselves and what we take pictures for. And they were saying that there is a big difference in taking photos and pictures that you think will impress other people and taking photos and pictures that you like. And I think there's so much truth to that. And I really want to stick by that. I want to do this for myself, and I want to look back at it for myself and for my memories. And I think by doing that, I won't be taken out of the moment of hiking. Someone else asked, what part are you most excited for? And I will say probably the beginning, oddly enough. I love a good beginning. Anyone that knows me knows that I like to start over constantly. Anytime I play a game, I have to start from the very beginning. Even if I'm already like advanced through it, I want to restart. And I have thought so much about Campo and Lake Morena and all those first milestones that people get to. And I've seen so many videos, especially from the beginning. I think it will just be really surreal to experience that myself. As far as most excited to see, just because of how beautiful I think it will be, definitely Washington. And of course, touching the northern terminus. Someone else asked, what are your plans after the PCT? Do you have any other plans for long hikes? Do you think you will continue doing YouTube? I don't want to get ahead of myself here, but yeah, I kind of want to Triple Crown. And if you don't know what that is, the Triple Crown is through hiking all 3 of the long trails in the United States, which is the Pacific Crest Trail, the Continental Divide Trail, and the Appalachian Trail. I'm not to the point where this is like cemented in my head and no one's gonna stop me, but the cement bags are out. They're there and they're thinking about going. It's a dumb analogy, but that's what came to me. And there are so many other things that I want to do as well. So I'm a little bit stressed out about my future in a way, like in an exciting way. I do also want to do some of the smaller hikes like the Colorado Trail, the Arizona Trail, the Florida Trail, the Tahoe Rim Trail. There's so many trails. I also really want to get into endurance riding with horses. I want to do some bike packing, not only in the United States, but also in Europe and Australia. And also, I want to have children before I'm 35. And the clock is ticking. There is just a lot to do in the next few years, and it is exciting. But I think I will continue doing YouTube just because I like it for myself. I feel like since I've been doing this, I've really gotten to know myself better. I've been more open as a person, and it's just been a fun hobby to do. I just really think I'm going to look back at this in years to come and really enjoy this time of my life. And yeah, my voice is starting to hurt because I've been talking so much. But thank you so much for watching. At this point, I really just cannot wait to get out on trail. It cannot come soon enough. So hopefully I will have some videos of me actually out on the trail at some point. Thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate it.